Wow, I don't even know what to say, guys. That 250 race was awesome. We had a storybook ending. We had trash talk. We had Deegan just riding like an absolute beast coming from behind. That was a fun race to watch. So for that reason, I'm talking about the 250s first this week, guys. But hey, remember, subscribe. I don't know why, but people get unsubscribed randomly. But if you just double check that and subscribe, it helps the channel, helps me, and I would appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into this.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So I have to start with the man of the day, Tai Masterpool. This is a very special talent. I remember him when he was riding a TM at Loretta Lynn's and just smoked everybody in the Super Mini class on a TM. And I go, man, that kid is so good. But we only saw glimpses of it as he turned pro. He started off with the Star Yamaha team, and they really didn't work with him or his family, and a lot of the whole thing was his family was hard to deal with. I don't think that's fair. I do not think that's fair. His parents both have strong athletic backgrounds. They understand probably more than a lot of these teams on the athletic mind and what these people need to succeed, and they weren't giving Tai what he needed. Yes, I know he struggled at Supercross, and that has not been his forte. And there's been this narrative that they don't want to race Supercross or it's too dangerous. But that's just not true. Tai is a case study. Now, every once in a while, you get your Jet Lawrence, your Haiden Deegan, these guys that come in and are ready to win right off the bat. Most professional athletes need a few years to develop, and they find their stride later in life. Tai Masterpool is a perfect case of this. He's been a pro for 5 years. We saw him last year kind of stepping up. You've got to get that, as Coach Rob always likes to say, that athletic maturity. There are freaks. There are the James Stewarts, the Ricky Carmichaels, the Deegans. Those type of people can jump right in, and they do that. And these teams waste so much money, time, and effort and ruining these kids, trying to treat them all like they're going to be that next one. And while they're wasting money doing this, they could be doing something. I did an interview this week with HBI team owner Matt Bell, and it was awesome. And he told me some really interesting things about kind of developing Tai Masterpool and how that has gone along and what he's trying to do with the other kids. And he's getting shunned by the factories. These factories, the way it was kind of put to him is he wanted $250,000 of support. Keep in mind, he's already spent $200,000 in motors. It is so expensive to run these teams. But these teams, they just toss that left and right. The teams went, well, we could spend that much. We'll just go hire a replacement instead of having your guy. What he would like to do is make his team a feeder team, something to where, Pro Circuit could take their guys that aren't quite ready, that haven't found their athletic maturity, put them on the HBI team with similar equipment to the Pro Circuit guys, and when they're ready, move them up. Or if you have injuries, now you have fill-ins ready to go just to take that spot. It solves two problems at once. I strongly recommend watching that interview with Matt Bell. He's very insightful. It's nice to hear a businessman and a really rational human being who cares about his riders, who cares about the sport, and how he doesn't feel like he's getting... It's so much money and there's not a lot of return. This is a guy who understands business. He understands how to get bang for the buck for the sponsors that support his team. He understands that and why they won't, instead of just hiring a replacement rider, if they won't throw that money to him. Like he said, he puts his $250,000, they put their $250,000 to his already program, and they're getting $1 million worth of a team and marketing effort for the price of $250,000. They're dumb. I don't know why they don't do it. Logic doesn't always play the most important factor when these teams make decisions, but they really might want to consider this. And seeing Tai Masterpool after being developed, and a lot of his development was directly related to Matt Bell and some of the hard talks they had about Supercross and getting him out there and pushing through when he knew his best wasn't there. Tai started racing Supercross, and he knew his physical abilities with his ankles and his calf were not ready to go. But he's like, listen, you've got to get out there. And this opportunity wouldn't have presented itself if Matt hadn't gotten him to get out there. And now look where we're at. Now Tai he's probably going to have offers from a couple different teams. And if they don't, they're stupid. And anyone that says, oh, he's not good at Supercross, think about how many of these teams hire GP riders who've never ridden Supercross, develop his Supercross skills. That's it. And for him to pay tribute to his older brother, Jesse, who, if you guys don't know the story, Jesse Masterpool was the older brother. He was one of those bona fide stars. he would have been 28 now, and he would have been a top guy. And we'd be talking about another sibling combination that just develops good riders, kind of like James Stewart, Malcolm Stewart, the Lawrence brothers. There's a lot of them out there. And if not for that tragic accident at Lake Whitney, where unfortunately Jesse succumbed to his issues, he had a massive brain injury, he passed away. And I think that affected a lot of the way the Masterpools think. And that's why it's a lot of the reason they've been dubbed difficult, because they put their kid first. They make sure, they understand that this sport, while it's fun to watch on Saturdays, there are some serious consequences that can be paid, and they have paid them. Now, even though Tai Masterpool got the win today, Hayden Deegan is still the boss in this class. The way he came back from 30th to win that first moto, and that charge in the second moto to almost beat Masterpool, to be right there at the end, he reminds me so much of Ricky Carmichael. And I keep hearing people say, oh, that out of control, that all in, that style, it's going to bite him. You know what? They said that about Ricky Carmichael his whole career. You know, they always said, oh, well, he's going to go, and somebody like Wyndham with perfect style is going to go ahead and, you know, and advance past him as they go. It's going to bite him in the end. Guess what? It never did. There's so many different ways that you can go fast on a motorcycle. And if you're winning, keep doing what you're doing. If I was in Deegan's camp, I would just tell him, keep doing what you're doing. If you feel like you're getting beat in a certain area, improve that area. But don't necessarily worry about people telling him his style doesn't look like Jet's. He's not Jet. Coach Rob has a podcast where they talk about navigating amateur racing. This month they had Andrew Short on there. Check this podcast out. Coach is doing some good things over on his channel. I strongly recommend you head over there and give him a subscription. Epic Garage Designs. They have lowered their Father's Day price for the 2-car garage. So if you want your dad to have the coolest looking garage in the neighborhood and look like a professional out there, every time he walks out there, they'll know what great kids he has when he looks at that floor and sees how awesome it is. And guess what? Dads, if your kids don't buy it, the Father's Day special still works. And they're going to keep it all of June. So epicgaragedesigns.com, get your 2-car garage. Chance Hymas has cemented himself as a contender. This is a consistent podium guy. He's moved himself into second alone in the points. This kid's good. I took a lot of heat last week because I said for whatever reason he looks kind of fake in his interviews. And I kind of know what that was. There's a person I grew up with that I did not like. And sometimes when we see characteristics of somebody who we've had a bad experience with in our life, no matter how nice Chance Hymas is, nobody said anything bad. Everybody reached out and said, no, it's just me. It's absolutely just me. So I apologize for saying he seemed unauthentic or rubbed me the wrong way. I know why now. It's not him. It has nothing to do with him. It's 100% an issue I had with somebody else back in the day. Although Deegan did not like after that first moto when Chance Hymas chopped him and put him way back there, and he had some words, and it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I got cut off on the start by Chance, and I know, I get it. He obviously thinks he has a chance, so I had to show him that, you know, he doesn't in that moto, and I came from 30th to first.
I love that Deegan says how he feels. That's all I've wanted of my athletes. Don't get up there and say, oh yeah, it was a racing move, blah, blah, blah. I want to hear he's pissed. And I think Deegan is one of those guys that draws strength off disliking his competition. I think it helps him to find a reason to give himself some bulletin board material. That's what feeds him. So I say keep doing it. But at the same time, he also gave Masterpool credit when, you know, Masterpool rode really good. If you keep battling him, he will find a reason to dislike you. I expected way more out of Tom Vial. A lot of times the European guys do pretty good at high point. Tom did not look that good, and he has dug himself a serious hole. He's 38 points down to the number 38, Haiden Deegan, and I don't know that he can make that back up. He has got to go 1-1 at Southwick and hope Deegan has an issue to get back into this thing. If not, he's not racing to win this championship. He's hoping that Hayden Deegan loses the championship. I do think he will overtake Chance Hymas as the season rolls on for second, but if that gap stays at up over 25 points, I don't see Vial being a real threat to Hayden Deegan. So the two guys that we really looked at as being the competition for Hayden Deegan were Levi Kitchen and Tom Vial. Levi's 9 points behind Tom, who's 38 points behind Hayden. Yeah, they're in a big hole, and Levi just looks fatigued out there. He doesn't look like I know that he can ride. I don't know what's going on specifically. There were rumors of a midweek crash, but to me, it just looks like fatigue. Chuck those X brand goggles and get yourself some ride strap. They got a couple different cool styles over there. They've got the Let's Go Brandon for all you political people. They've got the We the People. They got the American flag, and they just have normal ones. They're just really good goggles and a really good company. Hit up ridestrap.com. If you ship anything using a trucking company, you know what a pain in the ass they are. Not Precision Transport. Precision Transport is a family-owned company that takes pride in customer service and good, fair pricing. Hit up pretransport.com. So Joe Shimoda looked a lot better, and he's just about completely out of title contention. And you guys know what that means. He's going to get really fast and start winning races. That's Joe Shimoda. Oh, it is what it is, but he will be on the podium and in the mix probably the rest of the season. How about Club MX and that second moto start? All three guys were right there. 1, 2, 3. Jet Reynolds, he's probably one of the most decorated amateur riders ever to come up. They're trying to rebuild him. And while he dropped like a rock, it's a good start to see him get up there and battle, and he's just got to completely rebuild himself. This is a start, so it's something to build off of. Cody Schock, I expected him to do a little bit better, but he also faded back pretty far. But Mark Finnis, this kid is going to be a star. He showed a level of talent that I had no idea that he had. He led that moto for a long time. He was battling for the lead all the way up until when he crashed. Unfortunately, he knocked his radiator hose off, bike blew up. I know he was extremely disappointed, but he's been solid all year, just fighting and getting up right near the top 10. And that kind of a ride, even though he didn't finish it out, this kid is going to get up in the mix. I look for him to possibly get up to a podium this year, or at least some top 5s. But Mark Phineas is a really good rider. I'm excited to see where he can take this thing. You guys want to move to Texas? Check out this place. This place is awesome. Hit up the real estate agent, let them know you're interested, get yourself a place out here in Texas, not too far out of Dallas. And if you guys are selling a house or need to buy a house anywhere in the country, remember, I'm a real estate agent and I can set you up, and also I can promote your house when you are selling it. Email me at chriscookseymedia@gmail.com or just message me on Instagram and I'll get back to you and we'll get that house sold for you. And for you MMA fans, check out the video I did of the top 9 all-time MMA fighters. But it's a little different. It's more about the impact of the sport, not just the best fighters. Check that out on that channel. That channel's going really well. And thanks for everything, guys. I appreciate it.